flatten everything like the Earth is, and then I would be able to.
And we're back.
And then I could rebuild from scratch.
With the transition of flat like the Earth is.
Hell yeah!
All right. So the spider is gone. The web is gone. Who's driving the cart?
I guess I will attempt to.
All right. So
That's a certain check.
this will take Ghoulron making a will save to remove his control of the cart. Yeah, no problem.
Holy hell!
And then Elizabeth attempting to gain control of the cart with a will save.
Oh, okay.
Cool. You are fine. The cart bonds. So you only need to make this check once each time you use the cart. After that, you can add and subtract as necessary. So Elizabeth, you can drive the cart.
All right.
And what is the lighting situation for the party right now? The cart was previously being driven by someone with dark vision. And as you get further into this tunnel, you notice that the lights on the walls are starting to become more and more minimal. There's like one, there starts off being like one every 20 feet, and then there's like gradually one every 40 feet, and then it's like one every 80 feet, and then it's like one every, how far have we gone?
Well, it's a good thing that we have this potion of light, right?
Well,
Isn't that one of the items that we got?
We have 0 level light casting, so I was trying to think of like what would be like most ideal, because I mean we can keep something on us to give us light, but that's not going to give us a very long
Could I enchant, or could I put a light spell on the two, like basically where the horse would go, but the two,
Absolutely. You can make yourself like some headlights out of the.
Yeah, I think that's the best.
All right,
I'm
so
trying to
you
think
do
if
that.
there's any way to like throw light out in front of us, but I think our best bet is just basically give it like headlights, and
All right.
we're having to go a little slower anyway since we have the ballista or whatever the heck.
As you do that, can I have you give me a perception check?
Oh man.
Hell yeah! I'll give her my focused scrutiny.
It doesn't last
This
for
is
long
the only
enough.
spell
Actually,
I
it
have
would
left.
last for long enough technically. But
10 minutes per level.
you will stop the cart in time to not drive the cart off the edge of an area that, as you're coming up, starts to light up, and you can see it just drops into what looks like oblivion below it as you bring the cart to a halt. It is quite dark down below, and you can only see about 40 feet down.
Oh no. This is not good. I guess I'm gonna look around and see if there's any means of getting across or through or around this.
From the light level that you have, you don't see anything.
That's about right.
That's not really how dowsing works.
Oh no! I was trying to see if there was like if I could. Well, actually, what did I do? Did I do? Oh, I was trying to like. I guess I don't know enough about the tunnels to figure out where we would be at.
No. Not quite. Yeah.
Like I'll try to help her find whatever she was. Unless you were looking for a safe way down, right?
Yeah, but I guess you have double, so you have 80 feet of vision down. So you can see what looks, if you look down, you can see what looks like the top of buildings, Antaeus.
Oh, bet.
Dwarven or something
God
worse.
damn.
With that knowledge engineering, you're definitely sure they're buildings, at least.
They're buildings.
All right, I will go and wake Ghoulron up and say, "We need your eyes. Can you just sit up and look around and tell us what you can see here?"
I will look over the edge.
As you look down, you can see the tops of buildings. About 60 feet down, about 50 feet down, sorry.
Any safe way down? Or
I tell-
across?
I am an orphan, but do I know Dwarven architecture? Does this look Dwarven buildings?
You don't really know Dwarven architecture.
Okay. Do I see any pathway down at all, or is it just a sheer...
No, it's like somebody dug into this wall building a tunnel, and then all of a sudden came to a dead end and like an open cavern.
There must be some magic or way down. Are any of you familiar with the arcane ways? I don't think this is a divine passage.
Well, I will attempt to detect magic in this area, see if pick anything up.
Aside from the light sconces, there is no sign of any magic anywhere around here.
Cool. What in the hell do we do?
And you could always climb down. You guys are all skilled climbers, right? Especially the one in full plate.
Could I put Featherfall on the cart and we just like drive over
Let me
with it?
see. Let me read Featherfall real quick. Hold on.
No, it's way too heavy.
It has to be medium or smaller.
Oh, okay. So
You could put featherfalling on one creature per level.
so 4 creatures.
But then how do we get our cart down or get back to our cart?
Yeah, we don't want to leave the cart.
Do I see any lights coming from the buildings? Any heads moving? Or any
No, you don't see any
activity?
lights coming from the buildings. Otherwise, you'd see the buildings down there.
I thought you said I saw the buildings.
Yeah, you can. I meant the rest of the party would be able to see the buildings down there.
Oh.
Can I attempt to gauge this situation and see if there's something I'm missing?
Sure.
Let's see if I can not roll like shit.
I'll give you that as use of gauge. Sure. Thinking on this, the cart has a locking mechanism for anything stored in it. It can't be driven away unless the person who presently is the owner of it comes and takes it, or somebody has powerful magic. And you have a spellcaster with Featherfall that could get you down there. If you really wanted to investigate down there, you literally have all the tools at your disposal to keep things safe in one place and go down there.
I'm not so sure that it's wise for us to go exploring. We really need to get, to our destination as quickly as possible.
And then how do we get back up? And what if whatever is down there is sinister? Don't know how we get back up to the cart at that point.
What underground things are sinister?
Wait, I'm sorry. I thought we reached a dead end, and it's like a cliff. Is this just like on the side? we can go
So
past
you're
it?
basically going through this man-made tunnel, right? And then you reach this giant cavern, this giant underground cavern, and you're near the top of this cavern. And below is like a city structure.
Is it a direct, is it a direct drop, or is it like...
It is a direct drop. It is as if somebody had, literally been tunneling through here, broken to a specific spot with whatever was doing the tunneling, and then realized that, we absolutely can't go any further.
I toss a nearby pebble into the open and see how it falls. So does it just fall to the floor?
Down. You mean down the hole? Down into the cavern?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It will fall for a little bit, and then you can hear it.
I'm gonna
Against the ground.
I'm gonna try to watch and see if it gets all the way down there.
Oh, you won't be able to see the bottom. You can, from where you're at, you
Oh.
can't see the bottom.
Well, I wanted to see if it would fall within the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can only see a couple of buildings from where you're at.
Okay.
You only see 80 feet down, so I guess you could actually see the ground. You could see that it hit the ground, but
was
you
just
can't
more
see
trying to-
much of what the size and scope of this cave is, because it is very dark down here.
That's fine. I was just trying to more figure out whether or not I could reasonably assume that if I used a page from my journal, if I would be able to send a message down there. If we took a
you need a
rock or
target,
something.
I thought, for a message.
Well, I mean, tie it to a rock and then
Oh, okay.
old school. I don't have any spells left.
Well, you'd have to
type shit.
see somebody in order to do that.
What to Oh, you're talking about for message?
For somebody to see it. Like, if you just throw a message down there, you don't know if anybody's found it. They don't know where the hell you are. Like, what would your message say? Dear sir and or madam?
At this point, I think we have two options. We either lock the cart up and we feather fall down, hope to God whatever is down there is friendly and maybe helps us figure a way across this cavern, or we turn our cart around, go back out the way we came, and go over this stupid-ass mountain.
Steve, what would I know, or what skill check would it be to try to determine what things are living in this mountain? 'Cause I know that the dwarves do live in here, but there are Underdark, right?
Yes, you do know there are denizens of the Underdark here. Give me a knowledge, in this case, it's a knowledge history, because you are not familiar with this locale. So you would know that it is the dwarves. You have like a few other random creatures that that feed off of anything that moves throughout the caverns. And yeah, the denizens of the deep.
Would it be? Do I know like how close to the surface they would typically dwell?
It depends. You wouldn't have thought you would have seen a Drider that close to the surface, but you saw it only a few hours into the tunnels.
That's very true.
I mean, I think at this point our best option is to hope that it's the dwarves, feather fall down, go see if we can trade the information about like the catapults and shit for maybe them helping us like get across this cavern, because if I don't see any other option besides turning around, going back out, going over the mountain, but then we have to think about, are we going to encounter anything on our way back out? Then what are we going to encounter going over the mountain? We know we really don't want to sleep out here. We need to get to the next city like ASAP. Like these roads are dangerous. And I feel like we're going to risk encountering too much stuff to go out and over, and I don't think we can handle that at this point. So I think our best option is to lock up the cart, feather fall down, and hope there is something or someone down there helpful, or we're all pretty much dead anyway, so you know.
A well of positivity.
I mean, we got no spell points, we got no special class features left. We got to get through to this city. If we encounter like anything else that does like any amount of damage to us, we're probably done.
Steve, is this just a regular cart as far as size goes?
It's a regular size cart, yeah.
I guess I'll try to. Oof, never mind.
Okay, I will never mind.
There's got to be a safe way down for everything. We can't.
Well,
I don't think we should.
Featherfall can only be cast on a creature, correct?
No, it can be cast on objects.
Oh, okay. I thought it would
medium or smaller objects and or creatures up to your class level.
But it's not affected by whatever the person is carrying, is it? As far as weight limitations?
Hold on.
I don't think so, but I briefly glanced over it, so I'm probably wrong.
Okay, a large creature object counts as 2 medium creatures or objects. A huge creature counts as 4. And it says up to their max load. So no, you could not all grab hold of the cart, featherfall yourselves, and then roll yourselves off the edge, and then featherfall the cart down. That's greater than your max load combined.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to figure out the load of the cart. Because I was like, I know Elizabeth's strong.
But it will allow you to trade 2 medium creatures for 1 large creature. So, yeah.
So one large creature or object?
Large? But what if we featherfall the cart and we're riding in it and we just drive it off the edge?
I'm gonna say
why?
that you don't know how this works, so you can test it. So you think logistically that might work. Featherfall does include carried objects.
We're gonna need to math out a lot of things if that's the case.
But
many,
trajectory is going to be an issue.
What about if
Acceleration.
we people in the cart as well, or like if
Brianna,
we-
how many
spells do
times
have?
can you cast it today? How many ability? Like, how much could you?
Technically, well, I'm not sure how Steve wants to do spellcasting, but technically I have 2 level 1 spells left.
Okay, so
Okay,
you could do it.
so you could Featherfall the cart, and you could Featherfall all of us, and we can just very carefully roll the cart off and.
Well, it's 2 immediate actions that she has to cast. So it only works on free falling objects.
Oof.
So we have to push the cart off and then cast it.
Yes, you have to
Oh
drive
my
the cart
God.
off and then cast it.
I
Lord.
think just to keep it simple, we should, if nobody can get in the cart, we should just lock it up.
Well, I mean, what we could do is we could drive the cart off. I mean, I'm gonna calculate how long it would take for us to fall, and how many times she'd be able to cast first level.
Give me
spells
a
at
knowledge
time.
mathematics check.
Earth. I'm gonna need a.
I'll let you
more
do
generalized-
architecture and engineering as the more general one.
What about just engineering and
Yes.
not architecture and engineering?
Yes. Okay, so you spend some time looking at things, and you can't see below you at all to logistically figure this out, but you need enough acceleration that you know you'll clear the wall's edge going down. So you figure you probably at least need the cart up to like the equivalent of 4 horses pulling it in order to get it to that point where the acceleration will propel you far enough the cart doesn't just dead drop. The cart has some momentum to push it forward. And then at about like the peak of the arc, you'll need to cast the Featherfall to make sure that it comes down at a slow and gradual rate. But anything below it could be subject to problems if this cart lands on them.
All right, Onateus, point out to Gulron where your math says the cart should land. Gulron, do you see anything down there?
He can't see that.
Oh, I thought he could. Okay.
He can only
I-
see 60 feet. He can see the top of things. And Teus can see like 80 feet. That lets him see the ground and like a couple of the side walls of buildings.
All right.
I-
Let's cast light on a pebble and throw it about where we think the cart would land.
Okay, let's see some attack rolls to do that.
So here's the
Never
cliff,
mind.
right? And then directly down below it is
If
where
you
it's
fools
at,
will
right?
let me speak.
Yes.
I tried to speak a while ago, but you all kept talking. Can we not just yell down and see if someone responds? They must have a way down. I imagine people aren't constantly feather falling to get to this place.
Hey, Gulran. I guess actually you don't have the intel that Antaeus did when Antaeus figured out like that. Well, I guess I've explained it 3 times as well. So
That might not be the best choice.
Why?
Because it could. There are other. I mean, like there are other things down here, right? We've encountered other things.
could be Underdark. Could be. There could
So
be
if-
Drow. There could be
So do
anything.
you say this to me?
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
so rather than trying to speak from here, you'd rather us jump down with no way back up, and then it'd be enemies.
To be fair, I was just calculating out what would happen if we did that.
I'm waiting for a rebuttal, or I'm about to yell out to this openness.
Well, I mean, there could be more driders or more spiders or anything that could hear us as well. And if they get to us before whatever's
So
down
you'd
there
rather
does,
us jump down with no way up, and then it's the enemies you fear it is.
or like I was trying to suggest earlier,
I'd
we
rather
could-
make my stand here than down there.
Oh, you can barely do that as is. But
Okay, that doesn't refute what I just said. I'd rather do it here than down there.
I think that would be.
What
I
if
think-
what if we took your idea, Goron, but I cast Ghost Sound to make it look like it came from a different, like a little bit like
What?
different.
You can only
area from
cast
where we are.
ghost sound to where you can see.
What?
Okay.
What?
Well,
if,
my point was, if I throw my voice so that it doesn't, if there are enemies attracted to it, that it's not attracted right at us.
Right, but all that would be doing is throwing it from down below a little ways or out forward a little ways, so an enemy is still going to get to that relative location and still find you.
What if two of us went down and tried to speak with whatever was down there? Would you still be able to, if necessary, cast Featherfall on the cart and whoever was left?
It is
Yeah.
1 large and 2 medium size at that point.
So
But
we could
I would
try to
have
do
to-
that.
I can't cast Featherfall until we're actually falling. So
What's the range on that? Oh, 25 feet.
25 feet plus 5 feet every 2 levels. So 35 for me right now.
Well, and that lasts until landing. Perfect. Or 1 round per level. Oh,
So 4 rounds, which Steve said it's 10 minutes, so about 40 minutes.
Featherfall instantly 60 feet. Takes. Oh, okay. So we would still fall at 60 feet per round, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we would make it down there before the spell. Okay.
Yep.
Before the spell ends. I just wanted to make sure we weren't going to get like halfway down and then just the spell ends and we just.
The Looney Tunes, like, you hold up the side, like, help, and then just fall.
Exactly. I would be willing to go down there, because whatever it is that is down there, I presumably would have some way of communicating with it, even without being able to use any of my extracts. But I don't know if anybody would want to go with me. I would prefer that, but
JS, I thought you were smart. If we split up, how are we supposed to know if it's safe or not, or to come back and get us?
I'm sure that we have some sort of way of sending some sort of signal, like a flash of light or something. I don't know if we do. I don't know if anybody has torches per se or anything of that nature,
We do have some torches.
or like a bow, perhaps. Some way of firing something with light up here.
I don't
I'm
like
not
leaving
sure.
lives to chance. This all sounds very unknown.
Or-
What harm is it in speaking and see if something answers?
We don't know what will answer, whether or not it's part of the city or whatever else is down here, because these Driders I wouldn't expect to be this close to, or them close to the entrance. I don't think that we went that far down.
It's been a straight
strange.
run forward. It's been a straight run forward, by the way.
Oh, okay. So,
That much you
so
do.
it's even weirder that they would be that close to the surface, because typically they're underground, right?
Correct.
Further underground.
Yep.
Like Durgar and all that shit.
Yep.
And did Elizabeth share the results of her detect magic?
She found nothing but the sconces on the walls behind you.
No, I remember that part. I'm trying to know if Brianna would know that, or if Elizabeth just didn't really say anything.
I think she
about
said it.
it. Okay.
Are the
I was going to
sconces-
point out that there's no magic except the sconces, so there's not really even if we do shout out, there's not like a magical way they would have be able to hear us, would they?
No, we just have to echo. I'm just concerned because if there are more things, we are very ill prepared at the moment to handle even half of what we fought before.
I agree.
And I'm sure that if we do go down there, there's probably some way for them to get up.
Wait, there's
At the very
magical
least.
sconces on the wall?
On the wall behind you, yes, there have been magical sconces lighting the roadway through part of the drive. They're just much further back now than they were before.
Oh, they are lit?
Yes, but they're way further back.
And it's the
They're now
sconces
like
themselves.
hundreds of feet apart as opposed to like handfuls of feet apart.
The sconces themselves have pretty much some sort of light source.
They have
or
continual.
light-
They basically have continual flame cast upon them.
Okay. And I'm assuming they're like embedded in the wall.
Yes. So they provide enough light to see the roadway, they don't provide enough light to see what lies ahead.
Yes. So I would be willing to, if anybody wanted to go with me, also because of mathematics of it, it would, if you did have to feather fall to get back down, if something did find you, then you would be able to use the other casting of it to presumably get the cart and yourselves down in a pinch.
Here are the issues with us splitting up like that. I don't think Goron is going to volunteer because he's already said that he's hurt and is basically like chilling because his con is so low. Brianna can't because she has to be with the cart to Featherfall. So that means that either Brianna or Goron have to go back to being in charge of driving the cart, because for them to do it off, which basically means Goron would have to be back in charge of driving it, because I'm not sure Brianna would be able to be driving it and cast the Featherfall. So there's part of the issues and dilemmas with us splitting up and doing that.
Well, yes, that is true. I'm just concerned. It is because of the stuff that's down here, right? That was the thing. Can I make like an intel check to remember what you said exactly?
That's the thing you're most worried about, is what could lie below.
Well, I'm actually, because there's like actual like buildings and structures, it's more likely that it's some sort of civilization, either that or they took over the town. But so they may be reasonable.
And anyone tell me if you have better idea or thoughts around this, but this is where I think we're at. We pretty much probably will not survive turning around and going over the mountain.
No.
We won't survive that. So I think our best scenario is to stick together as a party, because that's where we have the most potential success if something comes along. And either like, one, we have to talk ourselves out of situations so we can have our charismatic people with us, or two, we have to fight ourselves out of a situation and have like the person who can do damage with us. So
does anybody have any rope?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. How much rope do you have?
We would still have to make climb checks if you're thinking using rope. I mean, I don't know if I have written down exactly how much rope I have, but it's however much comes in the War Priest kit.
Same.
We may have.
You had some pittons back there.
I can see 80 feet, and I can sort of see like lower level.
You can see the ground, and you can see some of the walls of a couple of buildings.
So I know that there's at least 80 feet, and I'm assuming that if you have rope, it's probably 50 feet. But I'm not certain. I don't know. I don't want to speak on your behalf. If there's any way we can, I mean, we could make some sort of message, or we could try to, even if we don't send somebody down there, we might be able to send some sort of message down there or something, because I don't want to startle anything that might be living in here. Because if we we are going to die. The amount of
noise we've made with that fight mere feet from here.
No, that was not feet. That was quite a ways from here.
We made enough ruckus in this tunnel that if anything was around, it would have hurt us. Let's just
Featherfall.
call out.
I would rather not.
Responds. I'd rather spend the night here to regain our power.
We're not going to have a night here if something powerful comes out. We are very crippled at the moment.
Yeah. Please give me one reason why speaking out is better or worse than going down there.
Because if anything, like what we fought before, finds us, before whatever's down there finds us, assuming that it is some sort of civilization of some kind, they will kill us before we get down there.
What? And what if things are down there waiting to kill us as well?
Well, we're screwed either way because we can't get out of here.
So I think it's safer to stay up here so that we're in where we know, instead of just randomly dropping into an unknown area. And then if nothing responds, we can just stay the night here and regain our power, and then we can have more spells at our disposal tomorrow to do things specific.
Staying the night in this cave, we will survive the night.
So we're either surviving, we're either staying the night in this cave up here or down there. Where do you want to stay?
Steve, what would roughly the probability of it being some dwarven race down
Goron gets
there.
up and starts to position to speak
You've
out in
no way to
Dwarven
know.
outside the cave.
Like given like the what I know about what they hear.
You
it's
failed
probable.
you didn't get high enough on the check. You're not sure. I've given you all the information I can give you in this particular situation.
Goron's using his warhammer as a cane and approaching the edge of the cave.
Okay.
to
I'll go
speak
down there
out.
myself. I'll go down there myself if you're that concerned about it.
If no one stops him, he is going to.
I'm telling that
bellow
to
out-
Goron. I'll go down there myself and try to find a way back up here. I'm
Oh
assuming
my
that
goodness, this doesn't make any sense.
we do know that the dwarves are in
Goron
the way.
begins
we
to
are
speak
no.
in his
I'm
best-
gonna stop him. I'm trying to explain to him. We do know that the dwarves are on the path, blocking the path for the construction, and this is the same path. This is the path that I'm familiar with. That like presumably, if they were dwarves, if they were the same dwarves, that this would be presumably a dwarf encampment.
Perhaps that's what you
Over.
heard, yeah.
Yes. So I will go down there myself and check it out. If you're that concerned, because I'd rather not get everybody killed.
Do you
Okay,
want
so
a
then
torch?
how do we hear back from you ever?
Well, I'm assuming that they need to get out of there at some point, so I'm assuming they probably have some way of getting up here.
Give me I'll give you a knowledge history on that statement. Dwarves
maybe
don't
not.
need shit from anything outside of
That's-
the world below, nor do drow. They don't have to come up at all. They could just stay down there for the rest of their lives. And
Is
many of
anyone
them do.
Maybe I misspoke about
Able
that.
to
but
see the other side, not trying to look down.
No one can see the other side.
Okay.
No
Just
one
curious.
knows. No one. The only you can make out a ceiling above, and you can make out a ground below. But you can only see even Antaeus can only see about 80 feet forward, and there is nothing he can see 80 feet.
Let me
I was just curious
check
because
one
no one
thing real
strictly
quick.
asked. I was just curious.
I want to be able to. Damn it! That wouldn't allow me a reroll. Never mind. Yeah, no, never mind. I would have had to have done something at the time. I guess. Yes, but basically, either I suggest we try and rest here, or we go down.
If you want to try and go down, I can give you a torch and, some rope.
I would be more than willing to take whatever you'd be able to provide, because I think that calling out would be a very dangerous thing, especially given that the things that we've run into should not, presumably, according to my calculations, be this far up.
Where was this fear when you were wasting time pulling catapults and ballistae to our cart and slowing us down?
We
Now
weren't
we're
almost
worried.
dead at that point.
Okay.
Do you have any more healing spells? Because I don't.
Exactly, and you want to jump down there and don't know what's there, and we have no.
I would rather
resources.
do that than alert anything that's down here, like, let's say, those spiders that have tremor sense, or anything like that that's down here, to our presence. I don't want to make more of a commotion than we need to. I'd rather rest. If you're trying to scream down there, I would rather do that than try to call out down there. But I would prefer to go down there versus alerting everything in the caverns, because our voice is going to travel
We've
much
literally.
further than 80 feet.
I don't know if I know much about echolocation or reverberation, but we've made quite a ruckus coming through this tunnel. I'm pretty sure if something had tremor sense, they would have heard us through our travels. Me
Well-
saying a few words in Dwarven over a cavern isn't going to change that, I don't think.
I'm still concerned about it.
Well, either way,
I
I'm
don't
not setting foot down there with no spells to aid me, so I'm staying up here. And Gloron will go back in the cart and lay down.
Hey Steve, would I know enough about their civilizations to know their
You already made a
Forms
check
of-
for them.
Well, I was going to ask about their currencies. If I need to bribe my way out of a situation,
gold is gold.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't some sort of bartering system, Fallout style.
Gold
or
is gold. With the 19 knowledge history, gold is gold.
That way, worst case scenario, they'd be willing to help us for money. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Dwarves, drow, gold is gold. But I mean, that depends on how they're going to recognize you in the first place.
Exactly. I would rather wait here and try to rest than to go down there or to alert other things potentially. If you guys want to try to rest here, we can, but I'm still not too keen on that because I don't have much in the way of light. But
well, we apparently have no option but to rest here unless we're willing to split the party, and I don't think that's a good idea.
Plus, worst case scenario, if we do rest here and something does attack us, we could always use Featherfall to get down there.
Yeah, but we also have to be prepared to drive this cart.
Oh yeah, it's not a good plan. I never once said that. But it is something, I guess. But I feel safer resting than letting everything within a who knows how far it would travel that we're here. We could take shifts.
It's really weird that they maybe we just missed asking something, or maybe I miss remembering information, but I feel like it's so weird that they send us to the capital. They tell us it's super dangerous, but it should be like a quick ride, and we have no clue about encountering a dead end like this.
Okay, give me an intel check, because I can actually tell you 100% that you did mishear me. Okay. I can tell you, I could go back to the VOD and I could clip the VOD for you. But with that 14 intelligence, they specifically said, the tunnel is out. We ran into a dwarven point, and we couldn't continue forward. And I then said that, I repeated that again when you guys got to the entrance of the tunnel, and offered you the 2 directions to go. And the party said, nope, fuck that, not going over the mountains. We're going to go through the tunnel.
I guess I didn't realize that meant there literally was no passage.
Yeah, Ryan also said that about 7 minutes ago.
To be fair, I did forget about the fact that it was specifically said that the part about there's no passage and being a dwarven. Specifically, I did forget.
Well, they didn't say. They said they ran into a dwarven civilization.
Oh, okay. I'm putting things together that may or may not be part of a
correct.
That may or may not be correct.
Correct.
Causation, not correlation. Whatever words, things, stuff. Yes. So.
All right. So. There's no knowing if these dwarves... Well, the tunnel probably doesn't even go through the rest of the way if they literally got to here and ran into a dwarven civilization. The tunnel probably isn't even complete, so we basically have to go back out and over. So yeah, I guess our best option is sadly attempt to rest and restart that journey in the morning and pray to God nothing attacks us. Do you have any knowledge, Onteus, of this area and our best options to try to rest in a way where the creatures here aren't going to find us, see us, where we're less likely to have any encounters with these creatures during the night?
Sorry, I just want to say something real quick. I thought we all knew this and we wanted to talk to the dwarves about stuff.
I did.
I thought that was the point.
My thinking was that if we talked to these dwarves, we might be able to, at the very least, make some sort of meeting or some sort of give them some sort of counsel with the.
We are under a strict time constraint to get these samples to this city. We didn't even have that many days that we could wait. So if I had known there was a literal blockade we couldn't get past because They said they started building this tunnel, ran into a dwarven civilization, and had to stop. That means is even if we get down there and the dwarves are chill with us and like, yeah, we'll help you, they literally haven't, like, as far as we know, haven't done anything on the rest of the half of the tunnel.
Well, they might have been able to identify that it was a dwarven civilization and had no way down there also. Because if they did that, then they would have ran into it and then had to stop.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that we were thinking the dwarves had a way through. And
I was
banking on
fully
that. That's what I
prepared to
thought.
like. I was either fully prepared to make some sort of like pavement to get through, or in order to.
But it wasn't the dwarves making the tunnel, so why would they?
The dwarven civilization is in the way of the tunnel that they were trying to create through the mountain, and they're causing problems for them to do that.
But they
because
weren't
they
the
want
ones...
unreasonable demands from them.
Gotcha.
From
But they weren't
country.
the ones making the tunnel, and you've already learned that the dwarves or Underdark have no reason to need anything from wherever else. So why would they on their own accord do the rest of it?
If I remember correctly, they were willing to work with them for like an unreasonable toll or something to that effect for the people that were going through it, and a larger claim to more of the tunnel. So they were driven by money in that aspect, if I'm remembering things right. If I need to make an intel check.
I'm gonna be. Let's actually take a short break, like a 5-minute break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.